Hey guys, hi, so here. Today we're doing What If Goku Was in Naruto Part 6.
Wow, what part?
Anyways, let's just get straight into it. Chapter 7.
It's ridiculous.
What do I do? In Naruto's mindscape, Naruto trudged through the thick sewer's water, which had a yellow tint. He entered the largest room he had seen in his life. It consisted of white walls and the same sewer waters, but a large metal golden gate was in front of the shinobi. Holding it together was a metal border around it with circular patterns and a purple-coloured background. The marked red eyes looked at him. The rest of the beast's face was hidden in the darkness of the cage. Naruto trembled for a split second before it stopped. At this point, he had already searched for his body's injuries, and he had found nothing and assumed this place was something to do with it. Oh, I see my jailers paid me a visit. How nice. The one with demonic eyes said, as his glistening white teeth became visible for Naruto to see. Naruto just took a step back as he realized the gigantic beast's stature. Hey you, what's going on? One moment I'm on the ground bleeding, and the next I'm here. Now explain! Naruto shouted as he pointed his finger outwards. Don't you dare address me like that, brat. Be grateful I'm the reason you live. The thing shouted as it moved close to the bars of the cage. A gigantic sun orange furred fox stood. He had a rather slim feature. He had nine large tails that swung behind him. It had a constant aura around which demanded respect, but Naruto didn't care whatsoever. How on earth did you heal me? Naruto said, squinting his eyes and crossed his arms. Bro, I used my chakra. Now leave. He growled. Naruto woke up. His eyes flickered to life. He looked around to see a Sasuke that looked like he'd seen a ghost, and Kakashi holding Tazuna by the collar of his clothes, whilst the bridge builder tried to skirm his way out. 10 minutes earlier, Kakashi rapidly and chaotically squeezed on Naruto's arm, trying to get the poison out of it. It splattered on the ground and the wind blew it across the ground, making it a thin layer across the ground. Kakashi was sweating and was hyperventilating. He felt dizzy and nostalgic. His friend's blood was a common sight, which he never seemed to be able to prevent. Kakashi was forced to jump back, and acidic pain covered his hand. He hissed. Red balls formed around Naruto's skin, and an orange see-through layer of chakra covered it. A purple substance poured from his arm, and his fibers began to rapidly reconnect themselves together. If they could see his face, they would say he had fur whiskers and slitted hellish eyes. Kakashi looked at him, wondering if the fox had escaped. No. If it had, it would already be rampaging within a second. Kakashi walked away and over to the cowering Tazuna. Kakashi's eyes possessed nothing. He didn't allow anything to show but the black hole in his eyes. He suddenly picked up the bridge builder off his feet. The man's glasses fell to the floor. Kakashi tended to ask a series of questions which would force one to tell him the answer he was looking for. But no, he didn't care. Why were they after you? He said, voice desolate. Gotta send them, so I couldn't build a bridge that would interfere with this hold-on wave. Tazuna barely whispered as he was mortified of Kakashi. His look told him that if he didn't tell the truth, he would never see his daughter and grandson ever again. Kakashi's eyes widened. Gato of the Gato Company? The multi-millionaire? Kakashi said, as he dropped the bridge builder, realizing the mess that he and his team were in. Yes. The bridge builder put his head down. Kakashi's eyes narrowed at Tazuna, and his killing intent seeped out of him. Tell me one good reason I shouldn't drop the mission, he growled. In the present. Because we all think you shouldn't. 3 different voices said. Goku limped from the clearing, not having the energy to put into both feet. Naruto was sitting up, his eyes gritted with determination, and Sasuke shared the same look as Naruto, with his newly achieved Sharingan. Kakashi turned to look at the 3. He let out a sigh. Secretly, he was smiling at his mask to see them all alive. Why is that a good reason? They'll just send stronger ninjas to deal with us. How were you 3 meant to defend Tozuna from them if you couldn't even beat them? Kakashi harshly said. They didn't back down for a second, but Naruto's head lowered. It's my fault, Kakashi Sensei. If I hadn't froze, we would have beaten them without any sort of problem. I won't freeze again. Naruto said, gaining bravado towards the end of his speech. Kakashi again sighed. His only problem was the state Goku was in. He could tell he didn't sustain a single physical injury, but was extremely exhausted. It was a miracle he was even still standing. He looked away from Naruto. Goku, how are you meant to keep travelling in this state? If we get attacked, you'll die, Kakashi said, looking at the younger Saiyan. Goku gritted his teeth. I think his master said was true. I'm just exhausted. I'll gain more energy quickly, and I won't die. I refuse, Goku said, with the same determined and stubborn looks before. Fine, get into the triangle formation around Tozuna, and then we'll continue, Kakashi said, as he began to stroll forward through the forest path. Team 7 did this, and then followed after their sensei. The journey this time was even more quiet. Not a single word or sound was made by them, other than footsteps and their breathing. Goku didn't remember much about what had happened, just they had won. He knew about Naruto's injuries and wondered how he had recovered. Goku had woken up next to a decimated forest and decimated trees, but didn't notice the blood around him due to his drowsy state of mind. He'd just gotten out of the forest during Tozuna's and Kakashi's one-sided psychological battle. Sasuke had watched the recent events terrified constantly, from his own mortal wound to his other friend's berserk state and Kakashi's rare anger. He didn't know what to do. It overshadowed his pride of unlocking his Sharingan. He walked and just observed the scenery around. It was almost mosaic. Another pair of Sharingan filled his mind. The blood, the bodies, the chaos. The horrors of that night had almost reoccurred. Naruto walked whilst allowing his mind to be blank. He didn't want to think about it. He knew that he would never freeze again, and that was that. He knew he needed to be brave and stronger, if not for himself then for his precious people. The only thing worth thinking about other than how he was going to kick everyone's butt was that fox. He knew it was the Kyuubi. Everyone down! Kakashi shouted as everyone ducked. The wind brushed over their heads and even clipped off their hair. It cut into a thick tree to the side of them. Mist encroached on them, and Mad stood on top of the blade. He wore a grey overall and grey toeless shoes. He had a cocoon of bandages over his mouth. We had 3 twerps, and Kakashi had the Sharingan eye. It also was a good meal to the demon of the mist, he said as he licked his lips. No one saw, but everyone heard. The kids trembled under the demon's pressure. Goku fell to his knees whilst Naruto and Sasuke struggled to their feet. This pressure didn't merely scare them, it felt like gravity had doubled within itself. Naruto, Sasuke, Goku, triangle formation, now! And don't step in, Kakashi said, with his own pressure. Naruto pulled a kunai from his pouch and slashed his hand. By this vow, I swear I will never back down, nor run. Naruto said as he stood in front of Tozuna. Idiot. Sasuke said as he did the same and stood to the left of Tozuna. Let's do this, Goku said. He didn't have enough energy to do the same, but stood to the right of Tozuna and held a kunai in front. Put on a brave face. It only means you'll die quicker, Saba said as he ripped his blade from the tree. The two journey rush each other. Their very movement was hypnotic. To Goku, this was the principle of power. It was mesmerizing and entrancing to watch. Suddenly, Kakashi was encased in a dome of water. Now, kids, what will you do that your sensei is dead? Zabuza said. Goku woke up from his hypnotic trance. The battle had put him in. Tell me, children, are you scared? Goku's spine crawled and his head stood on edge. His eyes twisted around to see the ghostly eyes of Zabuza staring straight at him. His blade came down, intent on ending the bridge builder and Goku at once. Goku fell from slamming to his side, sending him to the floor. His green gi was already tore, but now it was in rags. Goku didn't have the power to stand back up, as his body felt limp. He knew he had the energy to do one more thing, but he'd have to wait. Sasuke's kick had sent Hosner to the ground as well. He looked back in front of the group to see Zabuza still there, and when he looked behind, Zabuza was there. Let's do this, Naruto, Sasuke said, as he jumped back to Naruto's side. Wait, but if he's over then Naruto was cut off. It's a solid clone, idiot, Sasuke shouted. This made Naruto smirk. If what we need is a solid clone, then I've got what you need. Shut a clone jutsu, Naruto shouted. The last part as 100 clones surrounded Zabuza. What happens when wind combines with fire? Sasuke said. It gets stronger, Naruto exclaimed, knowing exactly what Sasuke was referring to. His clones began to stack on one another while shooting out wind blasts, holding Zabuza in place. When all the clones had piled on top, they began to shoot wind. Brass! Zabuza's shouts were overshadowed by the noise produced by the wind. Sasuke emerged on top of all the clones. He flashed hand signs, and fire burned from his mouth. It travelled down one stream of wind, but then transferred to all of them. Hinakaze release! Fire dome! The hundreds of clones shouted. And that's the end of chapter 7. Tell me, you got any criticisms? Tell me everything. Just tell me everything. I want to know, do you like this? Do you hate this? What's your improvement points? What am I doing well? Any characters you want to see more? I've got a lot planned for people like Rock Lee and even Sakura. I've got a especially load of things planned for Sakura. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for the week hiatus. It's more because I had something on the Friday, and I was pretty close to finishing this off, and I kind of wanted to relax for the rest of the holiday, and then I've kind of just got back onto this on Monday, so yeah, sorry about that. But do expect the next part to What If Jiraiya Trained Naruto Seriously to be coming out very soon. Should be like the next 4 days when this is uploaded, because I've finally gone to the Shippuden part of the manga, meaning that I can proceed without any more or any further delays. So yeah, see ya, bye.